everyone, it's Sarah and welcome to my crochet channel. Today's video I'm going to show you how to crochet the Open Your Heart scarf. Now this is a brand new pattern release that we're releasing for Valentine's Day because of the open weave hearts. But hearts can be worn any time of year. I've even made them out of purple yarn and had some really pretty results. Now this is a free crochet pattern on my blog, and you can find that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. To make your Open Your Heart scarf, you're going to need some yarn, of course, and the yarn that I'm using for our project today is called Sweet Roll. It's from Premier Yarns, and the name of this is called Pink Swirl. And you're going to need about 5 ounces, but you don't have to use this particular yarn. You can use any medium number 4 acrylic yarn. This is just the one that I used because I really loved the variegation of it. It goes from a deep rose to a lighter red and then to this lovely powder pink. And I think it's perfect for this scarf. You can use solids, variegated, stripes, whatever yarn that you have on hand. I just really loved this one for it. And you're going to need about 5 ounces. We're going to be stitching today with our H hook. And the H hook is a 5.0 millimeter crochet hook. You'll also need your scissors and you'll need a needle just for weaving in those ends. Let's get started. We're going to begin with our slip knot. And we're going to chain 21 chains. (15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. So what we're going to do is we're going to place a double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yarn over, go in the 4th chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, and go through the second 2. So these first 3 chains count as our first double crochet, and that's our second one. And now we're going to place 1 double crochet in each of the chains across. One double crochet in each of the chains across. I have stitched 1 double crochet in each of the chains across. Our chain 3 counted as our first double crochet, so we have a total of 19 double crochets. We're going to chain 4. We're going to turn, and we're going to slip stitch in the first stitch. Put your hook through, pull up a loop, and pull that loop through the loop on your hook. And now we're going to chain 3. And that's how we form the loops on the sides of our scarf. We're going to put a loop on the end of each row as we work back and forth. Our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet, and so now we're going to double crochet in each of the double crochets working across. Here's our loop, our chain 3 that counts as our first double crochet, and then we're going to double crochet in each double crochet across. I've stitched 1 double crochet in each stitch across, and again you should have 19 double crochets. We're going to chain 4. We're going to turn our work, slip stitch in the first stitch and chain 3. And now you have a loop on each side, and you'll have one as you work on each side. Chain 4, slip stitch in the first stitch and chain 3, and our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. Now on this row we're going to begin forming the heart. So our chain 3 counts as our first, and so we're going to stitch 8 more double crochets. There's 4 more. 5, 6, 7, and 8. So our chain 3 counts as 1, and we stitched 8 more, so we have 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going to chain 1. We're going to skip the next double crochet and double crochet in the next stitch. And that's going to leave our first opening for the bottom of our heart. Alright, so now we have double crocheted in the next stitch, and we're going to stitch 8 more so that we have a total of 9 double crochets on each side. Looks like I got a little tangle in my yarn there. Alright, here's my last stitch. And let's make sure we got it right before we add our loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Here's our chain 1 and our space for the bottom of our heart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 9 double crochets, our chain 1 space, and 9 double crochets. We're going to chain 4. We're going to turn, slip stitch in the first double crochet, and chain 3. So for row 4, again our chain 3 counts as our first stitch. We're going to stitch 6 more double crochets, so we have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we have 7 because we're going to count our chain 3 as our first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to chain 1. We're going to skip the next double crochet and double crochet in the next double crochet. Chain 1. We're going to skip here because our chain 1 is our next stitch, and double crochet in that next double crochet. Chain 1, skip the next double crochet and double crochet in the next. And so now we have 3 chain 1 spaces. Here's 1 down here and 3 here. Alright, so here's our first double crochet, and we need to stitch 6 more, so we have a total of 7 on this side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Get in there. Sometimes the top of that chain 3, that's our first double crochet on the ends, is a little hard to get into. Alright, so this is how it should look. 7 and 7 with our 3 chain 1 spaces with the double crochets in between. We're going to chain 4, turn our work, slip stitch in that first double crochet, and chain 3. For row 5, again our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet, and we're going to stitch 4 more, so we have a total of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So our chain 3 counts as our first, and we stitched 4 more, so that gives us 5. Chain 1, skip the next double crochet, and double crochet in the next stitch. Chain 1, double crochet in that next stitch, skipping that chain 1 space, and then we'll repeat that. Skip the chain 1 space, double crochet in the next double crochet, chain 1, skip the next chain 1 space, double crochet in the next double crochet, chain 1, skip the next double crochet, and double crochet in the next. And now we're going to double crochet in those next 4 stitches, so we have a total of 5 double crochets. Go ahead and do my chain 4. Five double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, chain 1 spaces, and 5 double crochets. Chain 4 and turn, slip stitch in the first double crochet stitch, and chain 3. For row 6, again, our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet, and we're just going to stitch 2 more double crochets, 1 in each of the next 2. Chain 1, skip the next double crochet, and double crochet in the next. Chain 1, skip that space, and double crochet in the next double crochet. And we'll repeat this across. Chain 1, skip the chain 1 space, and double crochet in each of those double crochets. And so I've done that across. Now I'm going to chain 1, skip the next double crochet, and double crochet in the next, and then double crochet in the last 2. 1 and 2. And so now we have 3 double crochets. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chain 1 spaces and 3 double crochets on the end. And again, we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn our work, slip stitch in the first double crochet, and chain 3. Now for row 7, we're going to repeat what we did on row 6. So our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. We'll double crochet in the next 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. Then we'll chain 1 and double crochet, working across those same 7 chain 1 spaces. Double crochet, chain 1, skip the space, and double crochet in the next double crochet, working across those 7 chain 1 spaces. There's our last one, and then we'll place a double crochet in the last 2 double crochets. So it looks the same. 3, 7 chain 1 spaces, and 3 double crochets. We'll chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, turn our work, slip stitch in the first stitch, and chain 3. Now row 8 is a little bit different. Again, our chain 3 does count as our first double crochet. We're going to double crochet in the next 2 double crochets. We're going to double crochet in the first chain 1 space and then double crochet in the next double crochet. And that's going to give us 5 double crochets. Our chain 3 counted as our first. We stitched in these 2, the chain 1 space, and the next double crochet. So now we're going to chain 1 and double crochet in the next double crochet, and then we'll repeat this 4 more times so that we have 5 chain 1 spaces. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. And so now, instead of having the 7, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chain 1 spaces. I'm going to double crochet in that last chain 1 space on that row, and then 1 double crochet in those last 3. 1, 2, and 3. And so that gives us 5 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chain 1 spaces, and 5 double crochets for row 8. And again, we're going to chain 4. We're going to turn our work, slip stitch in the first double crochet, and chain 3. For row 9, our chain 3 again counts as our first double crochet, and we're going to double crochet in the next 4. There we go. All right, here's 4. And that gives us a total of 5 because our chain 3 count is our first double crochet. We're going to chain 1 and double crochet in the next, chain 1 and double crochet in the next double crochet. Now we're going to double crochet in this chain 1 space. Then we'll double crochet in the next double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip the chain 1 space and double crochet in the next. And then we'll double crochet in those last 4 stitches. One, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do that. All right, now the way it looks now is you have your 5 double crochets, we have 2 chain 1 spaces, we have 3 double crochets, 2 chain 1 spaces, and 5 double crochets. And that gives us the shape of our heart. All right, so let's go ahead. We've done our chain 4, turn our work, slip stitch in that first stitch, and chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And that's how it should look after row 9. We're just going to do a solid row of double crochet across. We'll put a double crochet in each double crochet and in each chain 1 space. Our chain 3 counts as our first, so we'll place a double crochet in those 4 double crochets. Double crochet in the chain 1 space, double crochet in the double crochet, double crochet in the chain 1 space, double crochet in the double crochet, And again, double crochet in the chain one space, double crochet in the chain one space, and then one double crochet in those last 5 double crochets. And you should have 19 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 double crochets. We're going to chain 4, turn our work, slip stitch into the first double crochet, and chain 3. And now for row 11, we're just going to place 1 double crochet and each double crochet across. And again, you'll have 19 double crochets. Your stitch count remains the same on every row throughout this project. One double crochet in each of those 19 stitches. This is the way that your heart scarf should look after rows 1 through 11. And what you're going to need to do is repeat through 11 5 more times. And then you'll tie off and weave in your end, and then you'll do it again. You'll make 2 sections of 6 hearts. So I have 2 scarf sections, and each scarf has 6 heart repeats on it, or 6 hearts. And when we stitch them this way, you really don't have a front and a back because we stitched back and forth. And when you've finished your last double crochet row on your last heart section, don't tie off your yarn. You've done your chain 4, you've made your loop, and you're over here. And so what you're going to do is you're going to put the 2 ends together. I'm going to do mine this way because I've got a loop over here and a loop over here. And I don't want the loops to be on top of each other. The little loops that we made on the side. All right, I'm going to move the rest of the scarf out of the way except the top so you can see what I'm doing. We have a loop over here, and here's our double crochet, and we ended with a loop over here. And so I'm going to put it on this side, making sure my hearts are facing the right direction. So I've got my hook through my first stitch there. I'm going to go right in that first double crochet, and I'm going to go right in the first stitch on this side, and I'm going to stitch a slip stitch. So I'll pull a loop through, then I'll pull that loop through the loop that's on my hook, and I'll do this all the way across, lining up my stitches and sewing one side to the other. Now, when I'm stitching my slip stitches, I'm sewing the front to the back, and this is going to be the inside of my scarf. All right, it's not really going to matter because it's going to be on the back of your neck. And so what I'm doing is I'm slip stitching the front to the back in order to join my scarf together. And so my hearts are going the right direction. I'm going to finish up these last 2 stitches. There we go. With my slip stitch. Cut my yarn and tie off. And then I'll weave this in real good because I don't want my scarf to come apart when I'm wearing it. There we go. I'll just weave that back and forth in those stitches, going through fibers and stitches, making sure it's going to stay put. There we go. All right, so let me show you. This is what it's going to look on the inside, and this is what it looks like on the outside. And my hearts are facing the right direction when I put on my Valentine scarf. So I slip stitched my Valentine or my open heart scarf together. And now I have a beautiful scarf that I can wear to a party or just to work on Valentine's Day. This would be perfect for a teacher, anyone who just wants to add a little fun on Valentine's Day. The other thing you can do if you want to is you can take the ends and do the same thing and stitch them together with a slip stitch row and make it into a long cowl. It's just a thought. I like to make cowls because I'm always losing my scarves.